Hello again, YouTubers. This is Pastors David and Rachel Oakes with you again for another Israel 120. You may not be able to detect it, but we are actually at the summit of Mount Hermon in Israel, a mountain peak that is some 7,336 feet above sea level, which we can really testify to because we had to ride the ski lift all the way up to this summit. This is a mountain that straddles the border between Israel, Syria, and Lebanon and has great significance to the country. Now here's Pastor David, and he has a little more to tell you about it.
We have also presented a video from Caesarea Philippi where Jesus asked his disciples who that men say that he is, and the great revelation from Peter came forth that Jesus was the anointed one. Matthew 17, right after that instance, says, "And after 6 days Jesus taketh Peter, James, and John his brother, and bringeth them into an high mountain apart." Some from traditional sources say that Mount Tabor is this place, but most nowadays believe that this was actually Mount Hermon that we're on and viewing out across the Naphtali Mountains. You'll see right now coming into view the Hula Valley. In just a moment, we're going to pan over and you'll see the Golan Heights. And so 6 days after Jesus was at Caesarea Philippi, he made his way up to this high place. And it says there, "And he was transfigured before them," in verse 2. "And his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as the light." The word transfigure there is where we get the word in our modern language, metamorphosis. Went from one situation where he was in one form and he came to another form before their eyes. That same word is used in Romans 12:2 concerning the believer. "And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God." We believers also are to go through this transfiguring, transforming metamorphosis. But the metamorphosis for the believer will not occur unless they get into the Word of God and change the way that they think. We're not supposed to think the way that the world thinks. You're never going to know God's will thinking the way the world thinks. The world thinks we're a bunch of loonies. That's because they don't think like the Word thinks. But as we think like the Word, the same transfiguring that Jesus went through, we go through. In fact, 2 Corinthians, the 3rd chapter, verse 18 says this, "And we all, with unveiled face, continually, seeing as in a mirror the glory of the Lord, are progressively being transformed into his image," the Amplified Bible says, "from one degree of glory even more glory, which comes from the Lord, who is the Spirit." So we too can be transformed as we draw near to the Lord and study the Word. We will be transformed just as Jesus from one degree of glory to the next degree of glory. So why don't we go through that transforming process, that transfiguring process, and go from one degree of glory in this life to the next degree? And what will it do for us? We will understand the perfect will of God for our lives. Stay in the Word. Be blessed. This is Pastors David and Rachel Oakes saying bye-bye from Mount Hermon, looking now at the Naphtali Mountains. Bye-bye for now.